There are two major types of hearing loss, sensory neural and conductive. Sensory neural loss is where damage has been done to the hair cells in the ear. This is the most common, and majority of people with this kind of loss benefit from amplification like hearing aids. Conductive loss is the result of structural damage to the ear, like wax, perforated eardrum, middle ear effusion, which is escape of fluid into the middle ear behind the eardrum, otosclerosis, a condition in which the bones of the middle ear become immobile because of bony growth. These types of losses can usually be treated by an audiologist. Hearing loss affects every aspect of daily life and can reduce your quality of life if it's not treated by making communication more difficult, by causing misunderstanding and stress. It can trigger fatigue, and in some instances, it will isolate someone from society and loved ones. Before you leave today, I would like to offer everyone here to sign up for a free hearing exam with me in our office. I have enjoyed speaking to you, and now if you have any questions, please feel free. Yes, ma'am.
Where's your office?
Very good question. Our office is located on 190, going east, right across from Billy's Donuts. Yes, most people know where Billy's is, so that's why we use that. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any cure for ringing in the ears?
Very good question. That is called tinnitus, and there is not a cure. So don't go spending your money on the pills that they advertise on TV because it will not work. Now, I will tell you, most of the time that somebody has ringing in the ears, it is also followed with a hearing loss. When you get the hearing loss treated with a hearing aid or any type of amplification, it will mask about 87% of the ringing in your ear when you're wearing the hearing aid. Mm-hmm. Now, as soon as you take the hearing aid off, the ringing will be there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the relationship between hearing loss and diabetes?
Well, there's so many side effects to both that are very, very common. Like I mentioned a few of them, which is fatigue. But when somebody has diabetes, they also have usually problems with the kidneys, and kidneys, when they fluctuate up and down, the hearing loss will actually fluctuate up and down.
Wow.
Yes, so that becomes very difficult when somebody has those kinds of problems and a hearing loss, because we find that several times we're having to adjust the hearing aid because of the way that the hearing fluctuates up and down. Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean when you say the kidneys fluctuate up and down?
Well, the kidney levels.
The fluid in the kidney?
Well, again, I'm not that kind of a doctor, but we found that the side effects on each are both about the same. Yes, ma'am.
What can you do about the accumulation of earwax?
Yeah.
The biggest thing I can tell you with that is do not use Q-tips. Because a Q-tip, all it does is it packs the wax further inside of the ear, and then it becomes very painful and it can't go anywhere. The little hair cells that are on the very outside of your ear canal are actually made there to grab a hold of the wax and to get rid of it. So when you use a Q-tip, you're pushing it past those hair cells. So I'm sure your next question is, well, how do I clean my ears? When you take a shower or you're in the bath, just let the water kind of trickle. Now, don't let it just pound in your ear, but then put your finger through a wash rag and just get it out that way. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think about putting a cap full of peroxide in your ears and also ear candling, the wax?
I don't recommend the ear candling because mostly the wax that comes off is off of the actual candle, not your ear. Okay? It's kind of a gimmick. But the peroxide you can use, but not very often. Peroxide is very drying and very harsh on the ears, and so it will make it very itchy. And the best thing to do is you can go to our office or Walmart, CVS, and get just wax drops. It's a softener, and it's just simple little drops with a solution that's not as harsh as peroxide. Yes, ma'am.
When my girls were little and I had ear problems, the pediatrician had me put mineral oil in their ears and then peroxide after swimming. And he said to use it every day for
Yes, well, I will tell you the oil, we usually tell people to use olive oil, like if you have itchy ears, because olive oil puts a lot of the natural oil back in, and it helps a whole lot with itchy ears. Yes, ma'am.
Should you protect your ears when you're swimming, or is that just natural, the water?
That's just natural, unless you've had like inner ear infections or tubes, then I would say you want to wear an earplug. But if you haven't had any type of problems, it's not going to affect your hearing. Any more questions? Okay, well, it was very nice speaking to you ladies, and like I said, please, yes, ma'am.
Ask you one thing. How much difference is there between the in-the-ear hearing aid and behind-the-ear hearing aid?
Well, I'm going to tell you, since they've come out with what we call now the receiver in the canal, which is an over-the-ear hearing aid. It's not as big as the old-timey behind-the-ear hearing aids. I like that type that go over the ear now because it keeps your ear more open. You're not stopped up with the time that goes inside of the ear. They're also more durable and they're water resistant. So if you get caught in the rain or if you accidentally get in the shower, it's not going to hurt the hearing aid.
How is it on peripheral sound? So many times I can hear everybody else, but what I wanted to hear.
Right, I understand it. Now, remind me, what type of hearing aid do you wear? The completely in the canal. What's different between that and the one that goes over the ear is the ones that go over the ear actually have what we call multi-directional hearing aids, or microphones, I'm sorry. Each hearing aid has two microphones, one that faces in front and one that faces behind you. So that way you don't only get to understand the person in front of you, but if they're back here, they can. We also now have, with that type of hearing aid, more noise filtration. We can filter out more of those unwanted sounds like background noise. But ladies, don't misunderstand me. We can never get rid of all of the background noise, okay? And I always try to tell everybody that when they come into our office, because a lot of times people will say, well, we can get rid of background noise. Well, that means that y'all think, oh, well, you're not going to hear any background noise. That's not it. You're still going to hear it, but we can actually tone that down and allow you to hear the person across the table from you. Yes, ma'am.
What percentage of increase do you anticipate with the younger generation?
Probably a huge increase. But it's kind of funny. When I first started off seeing people, I thought in this small town of Livingston, I'm not going to have very many patients. You know, we think we fit everybody in Livingston. But every day I see probably between 20 and 30 patients, and every day I have at least 5 new patients. So it just keeps growing, and as Livingston grows, we're getting more and more people here. But the increase is probably substantial.
What if somebody thought maybe they were having hearing problems? What would they do?
Okay, if you think you're having hearing problems, I would definitely recommend for you to come into our office. We will give you a complimentary hearing exam, and we'll just go over everything and what the benefits would be and what we would recommend for you. That does not mean that you have to purchase a hearing aid that day. It means exactly what I said. It's complimentary. Just come in and get it checked. If you do not have a major hearing loss but a slight hearing loss, I will recommend for you to probably not get help right away. Wait till the next year, and then we'll just keep an eye on it.
What's the exam?
The exam is not painful whatsoever. It takes about 30 minutes. You come in, we're going to take a look inside of your ear. You'll actually be able to see inside your own ear in the office because we have a big flat screen TV so you can see in it. And then we just put you in a soundproof booth and we test your hearing and I go over everything. Yes, ma'am.
Is your exam the same as if you go to a medical doctor?
No, ma'am, it is not. Our exam is a lot further than what a regular medical doctor could do. So we do a lot of speech testing. We give you background tests with background noise in it to see how bad of a situation or how bad you're having in that situation. And then we can also get what we call your most comfortable level. Put it in your ears kind of like if you were to have a hearing aid on, and we test you with it again with background noise and see how much of an improvement we can give you.
You mentioned the kidneys a while ago.
bother ringing in your ear if your blood pressure is too high? You don't know
The
about
blood pressure can, again, with the kidneys, that's just some of the things that a hearing loss can relate to, okay? And it can cause because of the medicines that you're on. But if you're having kidney troubles and you want more answers about that, I would probably say talk to your doctor about that. Yes, ma'am.
You know you have different levels of hearing in each ear.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. That's why we test each ear individually. And we actually, you hear with 16 frequencies in your brain, and so we test each and every single frequency also. Very good question. I was waiting on that one. Price ranges on hearing aids, they can start off at several hundred, but they can go to several thousand. When you come in to get your hearing examined, I will give you probably 3 or 4 different recommendations because I am always going to be upfront and honest with you. I'm not going to just try and sell you something just to get you to buy it, okay? Because if you're not happy with what you purchase, I'm not going to be happy, okay? My job is to make sure that you can hear with the hearing aids. I'm not just going to say, oh yeah, you can buy this for $500, you're going to hear wonderful, when you're not going to, okay? So there are several different price ranges. Yes, ma'am.
You sell different brands.
We can get any type of brand, but our manufacturer is Audibel. We are all American made. And Audibel is one of the top manufacturers. That's right. Actually, there is not a difference whether it's over the ear or in the ear, unless you get what we call an Invisibel hearing aid. The Invisibel is one that's very tiny and it is inserted all the way into the back of the ear canal. Now that you're going to look at about $1,000 difference. But one that goes in the canal or over the ear regular there's not a price difference. What varies the price is the technology that's in the hearing aid and what it can do. Ma'am?
In other words, your level of what you've got to have for your...
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
How often do you have to recharge the batteries or buy new batteries?
Well, the batteries are not rechargeable. They have tried for several years to make rechargeable batteries for hearing aids, but it just does not work because it doesn't keep its charge like it should. But it depends on the size of the hearing aid and the size of the battery. If you get a larger battery, you're going to get at least 7 to 10 days out of a battery. That's based on a 16-hour day, though. So if you're wearing it for 16 hours, you're going to at least get 7 days out of a battery. Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever suggest cochlear implants?
Yes, and the thing with cochlear implants is they're very, very good. But in order for you to qualify, you do have to qualify for a cochlear. You have to try regular hearing aids first. And I think they give you like a year to do it, to wear the hearing aids. And then afterwards, if we find you're not getting any results or the results you should be, then you can go for the cochlear.
What's that process like?
Cochlear is, you actually have to have surgery for it. What they do is right here behind your ear is your mastoid bone, and they cut that open and they put an actual hearing aid inside. You still have to wear a hearing aid on the outside too that connects to that. And what that does is it makes the sound go directly to the mastoid. That way it doesn't have to go through the middle and inner ear. And that's usually people that are profoundly deaf and that a hearing aid cannot help.
They say it works too, right?
Yes, it does work.
Very well.
Very well.
Now, my friend had that done, and at first it was just like his old hearing aids. He heard everything around, but like the lady said a while ago, except what they wanted to hear. And they adjusted it down to where he doesn't hardly even hear that.
And I'm very glad you brought brought that up because, ladies, I want you to know that if you do decide to get a hearing instrument, it's not going to work overnight. It's not even going to work perfectly within a week or two. It takes time and patience. It takes you coming in, letting me know what's going on, what you like, what you don't like, what you're hearing too much of. But usually within a few weeks, I can get it good and adjusted. Now, there are some patients that have to come in a lot more often because of their lifestyle or because they just can't get adjusted to it. But if you have the time and the patience and you come in and let me know if you're having any trouble, I can usually get it fit just right for you. It just does not happen overnight. Yes, ma'am.
Is any of this covered by Medicare?
Medicare, unfortunately, does not pay a dime for hearing aids.
Really?
We do not know why. We have written the state, the governor, everyone we know, International Hearing Society has. We have really tried to go to bat because most of our patients are on Medicare. And we wish that they would, but
Unless you're a
they do not. We do offer special discounts, so for people that are on Medicare. We also offer financing. And always look in the paper because we're running specials a lot of the time. Okay? Nothing else? Okay.
What are your office hours, and are you open on Saturday?
We are not open on Saturday, but we are open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30.
People who work would have a little problem with that.
Well, if you work, then when you call in, you let them know we can't get in till this time, and we will have a specialist stay later for you. And I have met people up there on Saturdays also. And if is anybody here from around the Tyler County area? No? Okay. I was just going to say I go there every Friday also to see patients there.
Where? Tyler County.
Okay, well, thank you very much, ladies. And like I said, if you'd like to sign up for a free hearing exam, I've got it sitting right up there, and I've also got brochures and cards. Thank you.